Right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to our 11th episode, actually, of Powered by 0x. So super excited to have you all here. I know it's a different time for us today, but hopefully we'll get to chat with those who are in different parts of the world than we normally get to talk to during the day. So once again, I'm Jessica. I'm the developer advocate over at 0x Labs. And for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, this is a developer-focused live stream where we focus on exploring different features of the 0x ecosystem and get to interview developers who are building innovative projects on the 0x tech stack. So whether you're building novel financial tools, integrating swaps into your application, or simply looking to better understand the 0x protocol, API, and governance structure, the Powered by 0x live stream has something for you. So today, we're really excited to be speaking with Radar Bear, who is the co-founder of the Dodo exchange. Dodo is a decentralized trading platform that uses a really innovative proactive market maker, so PMM algorithm that's able to provide efficient on-chain liquidity for Web3 assets. And we'll be talking to him more about this interesting algorithm. You might have heard of AMMs or automatic market makers before. So we'll be digging into how is this different from the PMM that they've created. And yeah, how is it a better way of providing liquidity? So curious myself to dig more into this with him. So before we begin our interview, though, just want to make some quick announcements. So just some 3 key points here, or actually four points on the agenda list, on the announcement list for today. So first off, I think this one is probably kind of the elephant in the room for a lot of us. So want to take a moment to acknowledge the FTX incident that happened the past week. I know it was really tough for the crypto community. And in short, it just sucked. So for those of you who are watching and if you were affected, I guess our hearts go out to you and just want to know that we're here with you all. And for those who are part of the 0x community or are passing through, just want to reassure you that 0x Labs and the protocol were not affected, and we are continuing to operate as normal. And do want to call out that, well, unfortunately, this incident is, for those who have been in this space, is not new. You've probably been around for like the Mt. Gox or the Bitfinex hack, and we know that it might not be the last, but I think it's a really important time to really reflect on like what's keeping us in the space, keeping us building in the space. So whether it's like the idea of decentralization, self-custody, transparency, accountability, like one or a mix of all of those, I think it's an important time to just really reevaluate like what projects we're pouring our energies and investments into. And yeah, I don't want to end on like a sappy note, but I think that there will definitely be brighter days ahead. And as the blockchain space continues to grow and pick itself back up again, there's going to be a new wave of individuals coming in. So I think it's really important that we continue to educate ourselves and educate those that are coming into this space. So yeah, I just wanted to, say that, put that out there, because I know that it's probably on a lot of people's minds, as it was just pretty recent. So yeah, I guess I'll step off of my soapbox from that. But yeah, wanted to make sure like we acknowledge that. So with that said, just I guess a couple, more lighthearted news. Let me quickly share my tab. So yeah, on the more positive side of things, last week we did wrap up ETH San Francisco. So we are still continuing to build and know that those who are in the space for the right reasons, like we're really excited to be building alongside you guys. So ETHSF was a huge hackathon that happened in San Francisco, and we were really excited to award not only prizes to the three winners that built with 0x, but also acknowledge a number of projects that to build with 0x. So recommend you take a look through this tweet thread that highlights these projects and these builders who are continuing to build just really innovative projects in the space. So yeah, shout out to all of y'all. On another piece of news was last week, right before Zero Expo, we held our own right before ETHSF, we held our own Zero Expo conference, which was a really exciting time to bring in builders and just people who are in the space that were excited, who are perhaps longtime investors in 0x to get together, discuss what we have been building, discuss what the future of the space looks like. So shout out to the engineers who gave us a preview of Matcha v3. So for those who have been using Matcha, stay tuned for that. Shout out to our data team, Danning, for presenting the tokenization by numbers presentation, talking about just the growth of DeFi users in the space overall. And we also had another MEV roundtable with special guests from CowSwap and Block Native, as well as our own Robert, our data scientist. And last but not least, we got to have a building in the bear market panel, as well as a fireside chat with Andrew Yang himself. So that was a really cool experience. I think we'll have the videos for this event coming up soon for you guys who might not have been able to attend in person, but I think a lot of really good nuggets came out of this. And then last piece of news is that for those who will be at Web3 Dubai, we will have our own Daria who will be speaking at the conference. She'll be talking about how 0x works. And I think she'll be really excited if you are there and able to stop by to have a chat with her. She's going to be talking about showcasing different case studies of 0x. And if you're interested in building with 0x, I think she's a great person to chat with there. So with that, let me wrap up the announcements. Okay. So yeah, with that, let's just dive into the interview with Radar Bear himself. So again, he's the co-founder of Dodo, and we'll be talking about how Dodo integrates with 0x, both from the aggregating side as well as consuming liquidity side. We'll be talking about bridge aggregation and just a number of their other features. And with that, let me bring Radar Bear on screen now.
Hello, hey everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Well, we're happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you.
Yeah. Should I introduce myself again?
Yeah, if you could, yeah, maybe give a quick introduction of yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Radar Bear, and I graduated from physics and economy major, and I joined crypto since 2017. And this is actually the only job I have ever done, the crypto. Yeah, and I'm the CEO and maybe the first developer of Dodo. So I'm very happy to be here to talk about the develop things with you guys.
Oh wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, you came straight out of school for this. That's cool. So
yeah,
you found the space and you're like, I'm committed to it. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, how about I would like to hear a little bit about the origin of Dodo. Could you tell us a little bit about how it started and how the project evolved?
Okay, so I think I can tell a long story, from I dropped out. So I dropped out from my PhD candidate. So because our laboratory was hacked by a hacker, and he just asked us to pay Bitcoin. So we buy some Bitcoin, and after pay the money to the hacker, we have some remaining, and we didn't move that. But we just found the price is just keeping increase. So some of our students realized that this is very profitable, and we begin trading crypto. And after like a few months, some of our classmates is even getting richer than our supervisors. So that's really interesting. And at that time, I was at my second year of my PhD candidate. And I think it's a good time to like drop out and join the crypto world. So I joined a startup called DDX. The DDX is a very big relayer at that time of Xerox protocol. So I have a like very strong relationship with Xerox. And in DDEX, I learned how to make a DEX. I was developer of smart contract and market making strategies. After 2 years, DDEX they just quit from the industry because of some personal issues between the co-founders. I'm not sure what just happened. I'm just a normal developer. So it's about 2019 and the market is super bear. At that time, I just like lost my job and I don't know what to do. I think maybe I should go to study abroad, study more computer science. So I start learn GRE and TOEFL and prepare for the test. But after a few months, the COVID-19 start and all the tests are canceled in China. So I have nothing to do. Actually, nothing to do. So I like call my ex co-workers and told her that I have an idea that I don't know if it is worked, but we can have a try because we have nothing to do actually. That is still a super bear market, like 2000 March, 2020 March. So that is the very low point of Bitcoin price. But we just start this project, and we actually don't pay any money for it because we write everything ourselves. But some investors come to us that they said if you need any help, and after that the DeFi summer start. That we don't know what happened, but just everyone is talking about AMM. Is just talking about the thing that's related to what we are doing. So that, and after that we like raise fund, we hire more people, and we launch our product, and more users, more trading volume. So everything is like super lucky, I think.
So good timing.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah, I went from just trying to find a project to just like really hitting it right before that.
Yeah.
Goal. That's cool. So then doing this first V1 of Dodo, is this when the PMM came about, the proactive market maker algorithm?
Yeah, it's actually so now we can tell that this algorithm is very like Uniswap version 3, but actually we launched this 1 year before Uniswap version 3. So this algorithm is actually comes from my experience from market making on DDEX. So it's also part of market making for Xerox because we are relayers. Yeah, because we knew Uniswap at the very beginning, and we think that it is very low efficient because you cannot concentrate your liquidity near the price, near the market price. So that is a super big waste of your money. So I just start to thinking if I can like give a improvement of AMM. So PMM is so the first question we are thinking about is how to concentrate liquidity, how you define the concentration. So we like make another formula that in some case it is just AMM, in some specific parameter tuning, but more general specific, it can be changed to any kind of concentration level that you can like concentrate it super narrow, like curve, and you can just concentrate it a little, like a little better than a normal AMM. So this algorithm is super flexible and we love it because it's also very simple that you can even integrate it. You don't need to solve very complex mathematic problems. So so we start to build that algorithm, and even now we're still using that. And it so if talk about the difference between Uniswap version 3 and PMM, is that our version is more flexible, and it is good for market makers, because we can support like set your own market making fees and change any parameters at any time. And I think the most important is that you don't need to set your own strategies. You can like just deposit money and wait for some others to tune the parameters for yourself. But it also brings some very big problems. Like at the very beginning, we think we don't need to let the users to tune the parameters, like to decide at what price level should the liquidity be concentrated. So we set the strategy that is like follow the Chainlink price and determine the concentration level based on the volatility of the market. But actually, it is very hard to make the strategy always earn money. It is super risky that the more concentrated your liquidity, the more risk you must take. And the users that deposit money, they don't know that. They don't just think that you make me lose money. So they have a lot of complaints of this, and we have to pay a lot of time to explain them, but it is, I think, not that workable. So we decide to leave this big problem to the market makers. So we now involve a few market makers and let them to decide the strategy. So that is much better. And we think in a long term or in a mid term, so that is like better than Uniswap version 3 because that is more user friendly than like everyday tune the parameters yourself.
Oh, interesting. So then is that kind of where like the V2 came into play? So like the evolution of allowing professional market makers to
Yeah, like nowadays is there are already a few market makers doing this like for over a year and they earn money every day. And now we are doing things is to like make the fund separate the fund into secondary and primary assets so they can raise more money, like leverage the market making. But now you have also still you can still like deposit money to the pool, but you are not one of the primary or secondary assets. Like all the assets are mixed up. So that is also not very good because the market makers, they have more information. Sometimes they can hedge the risk out of Dodo, but you cannot. So this kind of fund mixed up is not a very good solution. We are trying to make the solution better by separate the fund into primary and secondary.
Wait, so when you say primary and secondary, can you clarify?
That means that as a normal user, you will receive a stable but not too much interest from your deposit. But as a market maker, you will like take all the risk and take all the profit. But you need to pay money for the normal users. So that is like a lending protocol, but focus on market making.
Okay, interesting. So I see that you guys have like a number of other features. So like the crowd pooling, yeah. So the crowd pooling and the liquidity mining are those strategies that the market makers can use?
Yeah, they also so for Crowdpooling is a feature for new assets. We think the DEX, especially a spot trading DEX, the most important thing is to launch new assets. So you cannot always follow other exchanges. You must have your unique assets. So Crowdpooling is something we use PMM to help a project team to solve the liquidity problem at a very early stage. Like if they only have their token and they want to provide liquidity of the sell side, so they can use PMM to build a single set pool. And this pool is it has some unique features. Like at the beginning, everyone can buy the token at the same price. So there is no front running. There is no things like when the market is open, the scientists or the developers, the hackers, they buy the cheapest token. So that will never happen again. So everyone will at the same stage, and those money are not going to the project's wallet. It still stay in the pool to provide liquidity. So that prevent the market. So that prevent the project team rug pull. So we think that is build a balance between the initial buyer of this token and the issuer of this token.
I see. So it's kind of like a diplomatic crowdsourcing of liquidity, and it's all.
So so this thing is like our launch pad.
Oh, interesting. And then let's see. So maybe we can talk about some of the other features that are within the exchange.
Okay. Yeah, we built really a lot of features that many people may not know. So I can like introduce well. So let's talk about bridge. We make an aggregator of the bridge, and we can support aggregator like aggregate both the liquidity and the bridge, so we can achieve one-click how to say that, cross-chain swap. So that is a very convenient feature that I always use. And on the spot trading, on the exchange page, so we support not only the swap. Swap is actually the market order. So we also support limit order and gas list trading. So gas list trading is for someone that's really newcomers in this market. So they just send an order, and we match the order for themselves and settle it on chain. So this thing is actually inspired by Xerox. So Xerox people just send orders off chain, and a relayer send it on chain. So in this mode, we are a relayer.
I see. Interesting. So I'm just reading through. As right now it says it's currently beta, does not support large orders, supports on Ethereum and BSC.
Yeah, so gas list trading is somehow it is an insurance that we warranty there is no slippage. So if there is slippage, we will cover that. So this is somehow very risky for us. So we start from a small amount and a very narrow list of the tokens. But in the future, when we get more familiar with this thing and do more business on this area, we will absolutely expand this business.
Yeah, I think the gas list totally makes sense. Like to your point about new people coming in, it's like don't have to put the extra burden on them to understand.
And they don't need to worry about the gas. So a lot of our users are complaining to us that why my transaction is failed, why I cannot swap the token I want. So like 80% of that are gas issues. They either provide very low gas that their transaction is always pending, or their gas is not high enough that they are like sandwiched by some other hackers. So the gas list trading can solve this in a very, very good way. So they don't have to know everything. They just click.
That makes sense. But going back to the bridge part, so you call it bridge aggregator. So does this because say
So the button you click is is just a list. It's not a feature. So the button at the sidebar it is the aggregator.
Okay, I see.
At the sidebar, yeah, the left.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's essentially like if you want to bridge over to Polygon, here's a list of possible bridges that allow you to do that.
Yeah, we will automatically select this this bridge, the best bridge for you.
Oh, interesting. So how is it choosing the best bridge? Is it like based off of
Yeah,
the best?
well, you can just try like bridge some Ether to Polygon.
Okay.
You need to select token because yeah. Cool.
Nice. Oh, I see. And it's finding the best route.
Yeah, it may take some time.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of bridges to look through.
Yeah, but I will recommend you to choose Ether so that will be more like faster. Yeah. You see that you can actually achieve this by one click.
Oh, interesting. Does it show you? Okay, down here. Oh, okay. So then it says like using the hyphen bridge, you can bridge. Oh, cool. Oh, that's really cool. Nice. And then in terms of other features, I read about where you also mentioned the fractionalized NFT idea that you guys were working on. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So, yeah, we have paid a lot of time on that, but it is not included in the newest website. So let me talk about the initial story of this thing. So we think about, so we have this idea very early, like 2000, at the end of 2020. So, so we think that you can create an ERC20 token based on NFT as collateral. And if you have part of the ERC20 token, you have like part of the NFT. That is really, really valuable for some very expensive NFT because, ABS in real estate world, that if a building is too expensive, there's not so much people can buy it. But if you can have shares of this building, this very expensive building, that is much helpful. You will have much better liquidity. So that is our solution for NFT liquidity. So we want to provide liquidity for every Web3 assets, including NFTs. So we create this feature that can help people issue ERC20 token by deposit one or a bunch of NFT. And help people you can mint ERC20 by deposit NFT, and you can also redeem NFT by burn your ERC20 token. And after that, you can just make everything back to the very familiar ERC20 token liquidity world. You can create pools, you can create liquidity mining, you can fund the market makers. So everything is so familiar and so easy. So we pay about 3 months to build that, and we try to promote that. But the actually thing is not going so well because we underestimated people's willing to hold a NFT. So because because a lot of NFT buyers, they don't buy tokens, they don't buy ERC20 tokens, they just hold that picture. They're not very focused on yes, they are very pay a lot of attention on the price of this NFT, but they just treat NFT themselves. They don't want to change it to a ERC20 token because that will let them feel like the NFT is not belonging to them anymore. So we face a lot of difficulty when we promote that, when we go to the market. But I still think that is a very good way to solve the liquidity problem. And one thing I may have misunderstood is maybe people don't want the NFT be very liquidity. they want it to remain in a low liquidity, so they don't need to face the fact that their NFT are not worth too much, or they have a strong demand to talk about that in a community. And if we always talk about money, it will get somehow not so fancy. So it's all about the customer, what the customer thinking. So this solution seems very good, and I still believe in that. But when go to market, we still need to listen from the customers, not ourselves.
So do you think that it will be a certain type of NFT where the fractionalization makes more sense, or like yeah?
Yeah, I think so. So like the avatar NFTs, so very normal, like they just issue 10K avatar. So this is actually somehow a fragmentation. So because the NFT, so you need to find some NFTs that share the same properties. So that can help you so evaluate the NFT you hold. Like how much should I list my NFT? I should search for something that's very similar like my NFT. So they are actually building something that have a part of fungible, a part of so every NFT is non-fungible, but
Mhm.
it is somehow fungible. For example, a punk.
I see.
So there are a series of punk that very similar, and
Mhm.
they are actually fungible. And you can pricing your NFT based on others. So that is really important. If every NFT is totally non-fungible, so that will be a market that everyone cannot sell and cannot buy. And so I cannot imagine that. So that is why the avatar NFTs are so popular nowadays, because it is somehow fungible. But for other NFTs like the very famous pictures, photos, they are not very popular, like the doggy picture, because you cannot tell what the price of it,
Mhm.
right?
I see. So, like the ones that have some comparable, it's more
Yeah,
interchangeable.
comparable.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I wonder then expanding, well, I'm just like speculating now, but like beyond just NFT as art, but so like when we get into um like NFT representing, say, property or yeah, property, say, do you think,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of,
So
yeah, do you think there's like less likelihood that the fractionalization will make
yeah.
sense?
So I think that financial is something that you can separate a big thing into small part and sell at that. And you can separate a long term into short term and sell them. For example, the IPO, why the company must go to a stock market, because it can be separated to small part, to shares that sell to a lot of people, that allow many people to buy that. And the bank, the interest you deposit and someone loan, so they just separate, they invest in a bridge, but building a bridge needs like 5 years. But how many people can wait for 5 years? A lot of people, they may just wait for like 3 months or 1 year, but the bank can be the buffer of this loan, that they can separate these 5 years to a lot of short term deposit. So that is like I think one of the essential of financial. And NFT fraction is following this principle, that separate a big thing into small things.
Mm.
So in the real world, there are a lot of things can be made into NFT, like real estate, like a company, like actually ERC20 token is just a fractionation of a project team. So NFT is it is actually nothing different from ERC20 token on the technical level, because you actually you can launch a lot of ERC20 token, but the total supply is one. That is NFT. So I think it's the kind of philosophy or story that you're telling to the customers that what you are buying and the concept be behind that. And it may also let the customers forget the essential that they are making some investment. So like that they are consumed. They buy something they just like not for money.
I see. Well, yeah, I think this idea of fractionalized NFTs, I think you mentioned you guys started in 2020. It's probably like the first
Probably too early then.
Too early. Yeah, exactly. So I think
yeah.
by the next run, we'll probably see it come up more again. Yeah, just like take root again. So I think we took a little tangent, but I think that was an interesting conversation, given that you guys had spent some time thinking about it. But like, yeah, to your point about essentially it just becomes back to the ERC20s and because they're just comparable parts that you're exchanging and allowing someone to invest in that with the understanding like these are parts of a larger sum. Yeah, well, maybe we'll take it maybe like circle the conversation back a little bit more to like future integrations. Also, let me take a pause for those who are watching. If you do have any questions for Radar Bear while he's here, feel free to drop that in the chat. He's here to answer any questions that you guys have in the audience. So yeah, let's maybe circle back to how Dodo is working with 0x. So I think during our call earlier, you mentioned, Dodo both aggregates liquidity, so on the RFQ side, and then we talked a little bit about that, and then also you guys are consuming liquidity, I think, on the swap, probably like the spot exchange side. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what it looks like behind the scenes there.
Yeah. So Dodo provide liquidity, and we also consume liquidity. So we provide liquidity to Xerox, like Matcha. So they integrate us. And we also consume liquidity from Xerox. We use Xerox API. So we think that Xerox and us are very similar. That we both create liquidity and we both consume liquidity.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we're like very.
So we just like help each other to serve our customers better.
Yeah, just working on it. From slightly different approaches, but essentially, end of the day, like trying to provide that for the two sets of customers. Yeah, that's really interesting. So then, looking at like future plans for Dodo, I think right now you said we're on V2 of Dodo, and it sounds like there's plans for V3. Can you talk a little bit about what that entails? What plans are there?
Yeah, so actually I have already introduced a part of the V3 before, like it is the leverage the market making, and we also have a plan to extend that to like if you can raise a fund with primary and secondary assets, you can use it to market making, and you can also make it leverage the liquidity mining that is a yield farming, and you can also make it like a normal fund. So that 3 areas, some institution like that, they are not transparency, but with this feature you can raise a fund very transparency, and the smart contract can supervise your behavior. Like you can only buy some a list of token, and you can only buy them with like a reasonable price. So that can prevent the owner of this fund to like use the money for themselves, and it can also give them enough flexible to trade as their willings.
Okay, interesting. So essentially, is it a new?
So it's essentially a landing protocol. I think it's actually a landing protocol, but but it will be designed for some very specific scenario that we will introduce more. So it's like a private lending protocol that you can launch a fundraising and you can set the parameters yourself. So we will give a lot of parameters, like if there is a lock period, so that is very important for some fund manager. And if there is a like max, let me think, the max decrease of the net value, so that is also very important for fund managers and market makers. So there are still a lot of things to do to make this private lending better. So it is not under collateral, it is still over collateral because all the funds are stored in a smart contract. And when the owner lost too much, we will start a liquidation to protect other deposit.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, like all the logic's there, and then yeah. So to your point about it's over collateralized, so like if at any point they're like at risk or can't make it, then they're just
yeah. So yeah, you know that nowadays the lending protocols they cannot provide leverage. You see that you deposit like 10K USD and you borrow all the 5K USD. So of course you can deposit this 5K USD again and like do a lot of circle, but that is not very convenient. So we want to make a leverage the lending protocol and make it also over collateral.
Okay, that's cool. So is this planning for like early 2023 to launch or
yeah, maybe. So if everything goes well, we want to launch it like after the Chinese New Year, but I'm not sure if we can finish that.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Regardless, yeah.
But anyway, so in this bear market, I think it's not super important that if we launch a month earlier or a month later.
Yeah, for sure. I think as long as you have the intention of building that project.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense. Cool. I think we covered quite a bit of features on Dodo today. Were there any that we didn't talk about yet that you do want to highlight?
I think that's enough. So we don't. So actually, we don't want to include so much features in a single brand. So because people cannot remember. So people can only remember that okay, this company, this project is doing this business.
Especially with this,
so that is point to point, and if we integrate too much features in Dodo under this brand, people will be very confusing. So what Dodo is, you cannot tell that in a single word. So that will be, well, not so good. So I think that's very enough for Dodo.
I see. Yeah, no, I think when I first learned about Dodo, I was more familiar with the like that you guys provided liquidity, but I didn't realize you guys had all these other features, which wanted to make sure we talked about on this call. But I'm wondering, do you think in the future, you'll just focus on the ones that you have and continue building those out, or like will you guys streamline your offerings, or?
Yeah. So do you ask that what is our plan for future?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. The one more thing I can tell is we are incubating a perpetual DEX. Like everybody is doing perpetual DEX, so it is very crowded in this area. But we do think we have some unique advantage. That we are like safer than DYDX because everything is settled on chain, and we have a good enough user experience compared with GMX. But they so this thing is still in a beta test. So we are still building on that. So if the time is coming, I will tell more about that.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Then we'll keep an eye out on that.
Mm.
Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess in the last couple minutes, do you have any resources that you want to share with viewers who are watching, either for retail users who are interested in Dodo, or say there's developers? Are there ways for developers to work with you, either through integrations or other routes?
Yeah, so we very welcome the arbitrageurs and also developers come to use Dodo's liquidity. So we have a very good API that can help you find the best price. And also our liquidity pool itself, liquidity pool itself, also very good, especially the stable pool that's between like USDT and USDC. It has a very low fee, and every flash loan on Dodo is free. So that is very good for developers that make arbitrager on chain. So welcome to ping me, and if you have any questions, so you can see our document, and if you have more questions, I can call our developers to help you.
Nice. Well, I guess you heard it here. If you're working on arbitrage stuff, reach out to Radar Bear. That's interesting. I mean, I think that's definitely a growing field. So interesting to hear that proposition come up. I guess with that, where can people find you? Keep up to date with what's happening, either projects, stuff that you're working on, that Dodo's working on. What's the best place that people can find you at?
I think maybe Discord or Telegram or email. So you can just submit a desk a issue on our website if you want to find me, and also you can message me on Twitter.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but actually I'm not so active on Twitter because I'm not so you know that crypto world love to kill the one under the spotlight. So I'm not so active on Twitter. But I will watch Twitter. I will go through all the message and what other people said.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of a crazy world out there. So probably better just to be building, and less out there just talking.
Yeah, you know that's like Suju SBF.
So, no, I feel that. I understand. But makes total sense. I think do want to acknowledge some of the guests that have been chatting to us during the call. So David says he actually likes the nighttime videos. So for trialing that with us. Hopefully we'll get to see. I think we've seen a number of different people on the call today. And then this one is slightly off topic, but I think this is more for 0x specifically. So David's asked any update on the Robinhood partnership, and so for those who are watching, so he's referring to 0x is helping power the gasless swaps in the Robinhood wallet. I think more so, so any updates on that? I think we're just continuing to work with them on that to improve that experience, maybe expanding out to other pairs. So keep an eye out if you are using that. If you are using that functionality, thanks for doing that, and feel free to send any feedback. And I think with that, thanks Radar Bear for being on this call with us. I think it was very enlightening just to see all that Dodo is working on. It was very cool to see from the bridge aggregation side to like the various, just learning about PMM in general, and then like the future with the perpetuals, incubating perpetuals that you were mentioning. So yeah, really excited to
Okay.
see, yeah, like you mentioned, kind of a sister project in the space. It's like you guys work with Matcha, we work with you guys. So always happy to, yeah, get to feature you guys and learn more what you guys are doing. So I
Okay.
guess,
Hey,
yeah,
thank you, Jessica. Yeah,
thank
I'm
you so
very
much.
happy to be here.
Yeah, it was nice chat. So hopefully we'll get to talk soon, maybe with, yeah, the launch of, yeah, the V3 version. So
Okay.
cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Cool. Bye bye.